Alright, these are our notes for surface area and volume of pyramids. Now, what a pyramid is it's got a base, and then all of the faces of the figure come to meet at a point at the top. Alright? Most of us know about pyramids in Egypt. There's a hotel in Las Vegas that looks like a pyramid. We know what that shape is. But what it's sitting on is called the base, and then all the other sides are faces, and they fold up to meet a point. Okay? Now there's a specific formula for the surface area and a formula for the volume of a pyramid, and I'm going to give you both of them. You do need to know both. Okay, we're going to start with surface area. Formula for surface area is B plus P and then a cursive L. Now B and P are the same things we talked about with a prism. Okay, B is the area of the base. P is the perimeter of the base. And L is something called slant height. Alright? Now, the actual height of the prism is this here. That's H. That's how tall our prism is. Okay? It goes from that point at the top straight down to the base. It goes from the top of the pyramid, which could be on the top or the bottom, I guess, if your pyramid's upside down. But it goes from that point where all the faces meet down to the base of the pyramid. Okay, that's the height. The slant height is on the outside. It's one of these triangles. It goes on one of the faces, and it's like if I dropped a ball at the top of the pyramid and it rolled down the face of the pyramid, it'd be the line that it makes if it went straight down. Now it's perpendicular to the base also, so I say that because we can make right triangles out of these, which is something we will do. I'll show you an example here in a minute. We're going to use Pythagorean theorem or special right triangle rules. Those are pretty popular with these types of problems, especially when you're finding the slant height. So what I want you to see is the actual height of the pyramid from the top down to the base, and in the slant height, this cursive L is on the side of the pyramid. So to find surface area, we just plug in values for those numbers. Okay? We've got an example here. It says to give the surface area. It tells us that we have 10 and 12 on our bases. We have a rectangle for our base, so this is a rectangular pyramid. The height of the pyramid is 12, and that this angle here is 60. They do not give us the slant height. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to list out B, P, and L. I'm going to put down what I already know. Well, the base, the area of the base, it's a rectangle, so it's going to be 10 times 12, which is 120. The perimeter is all of the sides added together, so 10 plus 12 plus 10 plus 12. 2 tens is 20, 2 12s is 24, so 20 and 24 gives us 44. That would be our perimeter. The slant height, I'm going to redraw part of this. And this is where our triangle comes in. We know this is 12. This is going to be 5. That point drops down in the exact center of the rectangle. So it's going to be half of this distance. And if that distance is 10, it's going to fall down right in the middle, so it splits it in two, it makes it 5. Okay? So now I have a right triangle. I'm looking for my slant height here. That's this cursive L. So we can use the Pythagorean theorem to figure that out. Or we could use special right triangle rules. It's whatever you want to remember. The reason we can use special right triangle rules on this one is because that angle's 60 degrees. Most of us remember Pythagorean theorem better. A squared plus b squared equals c squared, so we're going to use that one. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. We're finding c on this problem, the hypotenuse. So 12 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. 12 squared is 144. 5 squared is 25. We add those together. 144 plus 25 gives us 169 equal to c squared. Root both sides. So the slant height ends up being square root of 169, which is 13. Alright, now I plug my values into my formula. Surface area is B plus P slant height. B we found to be 120. The perimeter was 44. And the slant height was 13. So we end up with 120 plus whatever 44 times 13 is. We can put that in our calculator. And we can get an answer for that. We end up getting 572. We add those together, 692. Make sure we put a label on this. There isn't a given unit, so we say units squared, and squared again because we're talking about area. Okay? Hopefully that one makes sense. Pyramids are tricky. They're probably the trickiest of all the shapes. Because you're going to have to find the slant height, you have that extra step a lot of the time to find what that slant height is to figure out the surface area. Okay? And you're going to use Pythagorean theorem most of the time to do that, so make sure you remember that also. Next, we're going to talk about volume. I will tell you volume is 10 times easier than finding the surface area. Volume, the formula is 1/3 big B H. Okay? That's it. So we need to find big B and the height. Those are the only two variables we have. A lot of the time, height's going to be given to you already. In our problem, it is. It's given as 6. We don't know the area of the base, though. What they tell us is that we have 4 over here, and that this part is 5.5 from the center to the outside. Now, remember I told you that that's in the middle, so half of this is 5.5. That means the other half, so this is 5.5, other half needs to be exactly the same because the height falls right down in the middle of the pyramid, right on the base. So 5.5 plus 5.5 is 11. So our other dimension is 11. Multiply those together, 4 times 11, we get 44. There's the area of the base. Now to find volume, it is 1/3 times 44 times 6. What we're going to do, and I'm going to show you a trick here, and for some reason that 1/3 throws a lot of people off. We're going to ignore this for a second. We're going to multiply these together first. 44 times 6, and we get 264 with a 1/3 out in front. So what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to multiply by 1/3, and most people, this is where that catches them. They'll put 0.3 in the calculator, which isn't 1/3, it's 3/10. So what we're going to do is we're going to say 264 and then just divide it by 3. That's going to give us the answer. Dividing by 3 is the same thing as multiplying by 1/3. So there's a little shortcut there, a little trick, and that helps a lot of people. So instead of multiplying by 1/3, we're going to divide by 3. It's the same thing. So 264 divided by 3 gives us 88. So our volume here, 88 units. Make sure we put the right exponent up there. Cubed. Cubed because we're talking about volume. Okay? Now, those are typical examples you'll see when you're finding the volume and the surface area of pyramids. You do need to know the formulas, so make sure you know that surface area is big B plus perimeter times slant height, and the volume is 1/3 BH. If you still have questions, go back and rewatch the video, and if you still have questions after that, bring them to class next time.